this. So, Cory, when have you seen God answer a specific prayer?
Okay, cool. I'm going to stand up because I can't talk and sit down. This is a difficult topic because a lot of times, especially with the way that we are brought up and the way that we have conversation with one another, is that if you don't get an audible answer from someone, you're being ignored, or they didn't hear you, or they don't like you, so they're not answering you, right? And maybe we've even done this on the reverse. Like, you've heard a question or you've heard something, and you're just like, I don't feel like answering that, so you just don't. And sometimes what happens, I think, is when we have conversations with God, there's this issue where we maybe not expect an audible answer, but we don't see the answer that we wanted, or we don't see an answer right away. And so what that translates to us sometimes as is we are being ignored, or God didn't hear me, or he's not listening, he's not answering. And the thing that I think is so important, especially with this topic, is that we kind of change the way that we're asking. And instead of asking for what we want, we ask for what's best. And so when we step out of that and say, what do I want? Well, we ask a lot for things that we want, right? But when we start asking for what's best, it changes the dynamic. And so thinking about how I've seen this answered prayer happen. Some of you know my story very, very briefly. My mom passed away almost 10 years ago from cancer. And so as she was walking through that, we prayed for her to get better, and she didn't. So the question is, right, did I pray that she would get better and God ignored me? Did I pray that she would get better and God just didn't answer me? Was he not listening? Did he not hear me? But I was also praying for what was best. And so here's what happened, right? She passed away. She got to go to heaven. Ultimately, that's awesome, right, for her. But go down the road. So my dad gets remarried. I gained 2 stepbrothers. One of them was getting married a few years ago. One's getting married next week. But I got to do the wedding for the one that got married a few years ago. As a part of them doing, like me officiating their wedding, I go through premarital counseling. Part of that premarital counseling was me making sure that they knew and understood the gospel. I got to lead my stepsister-in-law to Jesus. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? He didn't answer it the way that I wanted, but did he answer it the way that was best? Yep. Yes. And God always will do good things with what we ask him. It just may not be what we want. It might just be what's best.